Do you know what we're here for?
Equal parts. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Don't be creepy.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Donald Trump spent a lot of quality time with my wife.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
What now?
I made a huge tiny mistake.
Consequences.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I'm staying in the race. Come on! Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
I cannot believe how people come for you already. I don't know if you know this.
Phrasing.
Are you not entertained?
Don't even play.
There's no point in you betraying your future self to gratify your present self. It's a stupid game.
Rid of the Second Amendment.
It's a great day for being sexual.
Not reality.
It never occurred to me. It's crazy to watch. Climate and everything are the same word.
You should be ashamed of yourself for having that thought.
Right now.
I see that you know your judo.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
It's science.
You supercalifragilisticexpialidocious bitch! That's too much, man!
We've been talking about saving the Amazon for 30 years. Almost 30 years ago, Sting held a concert to save the Amazon right here in New York, and we're still talking about it. The world's largest rainforest, the Amazon, is crucial to any climate change solution for its capacity to sequester carbon, for its biodiversity, for its fresh water, for the air we breathe, for our morality. And it is on fire. When a room in your house is on fire, you don't say there's a fire in a room in my house, you say my house is on fire. And we only have one house. Sorry. Greed is winning the battle for the Amazon. And what we've done to preserve the Amazon, what we worked so hard for, is being purposefully undone. We need to protect what we have. We need to restore what we have lost. And we need to defund the mechanisms, the perverse tax subsidies, the lending policies, and the institutional investments that fuel deforestation. It's understood that the protection It is understood that the protection and preservation of tropical forests can achieve at least 30% of the emissions reductions we need to protect the planet. On behalf, my goodness, I'm so sorry. In the movies we get to do it over. And without the Amazon, without securing the largest standing tropical forest in the world, we cannot achieve a climate solution, and nothing else
Well, here we are again. Floating somewhere between Earth and that dark, dark void. Lot to talk about tonight. I mean, my god, it's been too long since we've seen each other. I intended to go all weekend and was hit by sudden space sickness. But thankfully, I am here now, so we better get right to it, folks. Buckle up those seatbelts. This ride through the void may, in fact, incur some amount of turbulence. Safety first, say spams. Now, it is election day eve. Election eve day? No, election day eve. Wait. Election Eve? Is it just Election Eve? It's like Christmas Eve? Yeah, let's go like that. So we're gonna call it election. It's just Election Eve. I don't know, I'm calling it election. Election Day Eve sounds more fun though. I like that, so actually I might stick with that. And it's also in the title, so I can't go back now. That would be
That's too much, man!
Anyways, we have a ton to talk about, not just because it's been so long, but also because the world's going crazy. We got an election happening, already underway, and shortly in full. And if you've been feeling any amount of election stress recently, well, have you ever considered baking? It's not my idea. That's an idea from a little clip factory known as the Forbes Breaking News YouTube network. They have some good news for you. It's not just you who's baking out of stress. It's actually a tradition that dates back to colonial times.
Arguably the greatest work of nonfiction of the 20th century.
Let's see what they have to say.
Hi everyone, I'm Maggie McGrath, editor of Forbes Women.
Whoa, unacceptable.
Election
Please
cakes
hold.
date back to the 1700s. Even though tomorrow, everyday bakers will be baking as they cope with election anxiety, including this reporter. Joining us now to talk about the cultural history here and the culinary history is Casey Highsmith.
This is a travesty
She's a
of
food
justice.
scholar and American studies expert who's done a lot of writing on the subject of election cakes.
Hush, we have big problems happening, God damn it. What the hell? What just happened? Why is this capturing my other display? Ah, there we go, because you decided to arbitrarily without me asking for it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's try this once more. Let's just one more time. Once more. Everyone forget what you just saw.
Hi everyone, I'm Maggie McGrath, editor of Forbes Women. Election cakes date back to the 1700s. Even though tomorrow, everyday bakers will be baking as they cope with election anxiety, including this reporter. Joining us now to talk about the cultural history here and the culinary history is Casey Highsmith. She's a food scholar and American studies expert who's done a lot of writing on the subject of election cakes. Casey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So every year around election time, people talk about stress eating, stress baking, but there is a history here, a tradition, if you will, that really goes back.
Tradition.
Where did election cakes get their start?
So they date back to the earliest elections of the colonial days. They were something that were actually brought over, with our colonial forefathers and foremothers, I guess. And so they have their roots in early English cakes as well. And they were simply a cake that was baked.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh God. Dirk just ripped it wide open. How dare you? How I told you to forget what you just saw. Okay? Not to point it out rudely in chat.
Roots in early English cakes as well. And they were simply a cake that was baked to feed a lot of people. Elections were a little different back in that time, and everybody would travel from their property, which everyone was a little more spread out. Travel took more time. And so it was a bigger adventure to go places. And our elections were, polling places were an exciting place to be. And so women would bake these cakes to feed all the men who came to vote, and sometimes their families that they brought along with them. And sometimes people would extend their stays because travel took longer. And so you'd need cake for longer as well. So the cake fed a lot of people. They were giant cakes. And then they had a pretty decent shelf life based on their ingredients.
Hey, fun stuff. Fun stuff. I just figured we started off real light today, considering all of the stuff going on. That it would just make more sense for us to, just sort of get into this just slowly, because things are going to ramp up pretty quick. And by pretty quick, well, you'll see very shortly by that what I mean. But, I just thought of cakes, would maybe get us in a more receptive mood here, perhaps. But yeah, the tradition of election baking goes back hundreds of years. Forbes is Trump or Peter Meta. We call around here Forbes. I don't know. I think you're new to the channel, but Forbes around here we call Forbes Clip Factory, because that's really what they are. I see them as a clip factory And they're definitely a right-wing clip factory. That much is for sure. Although, if anything, I think I could be wrong about Forbes. I honestly don't listen to the guy that much, but I think he might be one of the what are they called? The Lincoln Project guys, isn't he? So like he's like a never Trump conservative clip demon of YouTube. Very annoying place, but they're constantly on the clips faster than practically anyone else, even the AP, which is really saying something, because the AP is probably the second biggest clip factory on the internet. Speaking of the AP, let's go right to them. This is from yesterday. Security fences going up in Washington, D.C. ahead of the election day.
You in? Woo! Hello.
Wow. Those are some fancy ass barricades. They really blend in. They almost look like they've been here the whole time. Look at them with the I can't tell if it's cement. You would assume that these must have cement bases. I guess it could be like polyurethane or something. They look like they're cement though. So as you can see, it's not even 2025 yet, and they are getting themselves ready for potential violence. So it's very clear that this time, with Democrats in office, they've decided to take election security quite seriously. I think I have some more footage of this stuff because there's a bunch of preparations going in place right now, as you can see, just all over DC.
Here in our nation's capital, meantime, preparations are underway for what could be a very tense few weeks.
Now, we already know we likely won't have the results from the election for days, and that means security in the district will continue well past tomorrow. Jacqueline Quinn joins us now live outside the White House this morning with the story. And Jacqueline, those security measures have a big impact on the people in our area and local businesses as well.
Yeah, if you're coming down here, you're sure to see them just even around town. But here they are. This is the fencing that's quite high. It's designed for people not to be able to scale it. It's really surrounding the perimeter of Lafayette Square right now. And if you're familiar, Lafayette Square just right across from the White House. And we can't see it because of the fencing and some of the scaffolding that has just gone on over there on Pennsylvania Avenue. And the concern around here is that not that there is a threat at the time right now, but just that there could be political unrest, as we've seen with the January 6th Capitol riots. And again, it's not just in this area. It is something that people are thinking about just around this area here. So some of the businesses that we have seen, they've boarded up their shops just as a precaution. Fencing has also gone up around Vice President Kamala Harris's home in Northwest D.C. near the Naval Observatory. This protection also extends down in Florida at former President Donald Trump's house. Again, we want to stress that there is no threat at this time, but law enforcement plans to be ready.
We will not tolerate any violence of any kind. We will not tolerate any riots. We will not tolerate the destruction of property.
So So again, you want to be aware of some of the potential closures, and we want to let you know that Vice President Kamala Harris's her election night headquarters is going to be at Howard University. So you can expect some closures, some streets to be blocked off, especially for parking in that area. If you're headed around here in the next 2 days, just be aware that there are going to be a lot of detours for you. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much for that report, Randy Ayala. In fact,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear just how much effort is going into this right now. They do not want to see a repeat of January 6th, and I don't think anybody here does either. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but you just got 2 more support characters. The first 2, Gary, of course, and Rod Serling of the Twilight Zone, were your rollovers from last stream. If anybody remembers, you still had a couple of rollovers there, so you got 4 now already. So wow, impressive. All right, we got more stuff to talk about. Look at my list. Oh, I forgot. We actually have a few more stories on this. What's wrong with my brain right now?
Just looking more into the impacts that we get.
Here is TRT World on the story of election fortifications. Really? They're calling it election security, but
Election Eve in Washington, D.C., and some businesses are taking security into their own hands, choosing to board up their windows in case there are any disruptions in the city on Election Day and the days following.
The chief of police says there's no need for alarm right now, but is asking everyone to remain vigilant.
At the White House, there's fencing around the entire perimeter, but it's been in place for weeks now. The park outside the White House is still open, but that's likely to close from Election Day.
Now, these are just precautions, although we are expecting to see more of a police presence Election Day onwards. And the police chief says they won't stand for any kind of disruption or unlawful behavior.
Further in, there's a stage being built. That's for the inauguration parade that takes place in January. Right in front of the White House is BLM Plaza, or Black Lives Matter Plaza.
There we go, TRT.
In 2020, this was the site of numerous protests and rallies in the months leading up to the election.
This time, it's pretty calm here. The main difference is that in 2020, Donald Trump was the incumbent president. He was in the White House. It was a divisive presidency, and there was a need for more security.
Okay, now let's go here. This is NBCLA. Actually, why am I doing it in this order? It should be in reverse order. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's go here. NBCLA, 40 minutes. How voter poll worker safety is protected on Election Day.
Back now to Decision 2024. There's been a lot of talk during this election about security with the votes, secure ballots. Joining me live to talk about this is UCLA political science professor and NBC.
God damn it, NBCLA. Why did you have to hire Maria Bartiromo's distant cousin? I can't unsee it ever. It's never.
Election law analyst
impossible.
Rick Hassan. Thanks so much, Rick, for joining us.
Sure, good to be with you.
So many counties and states have really gone out of their way this time out to make sure there are no problems and no perception of problems. Do you think that's working?
Well, you know, there's the reality of what's going on the ground. I think what's going on the ground is actually that things are strengthened. We're in better shape than we were last time. We're prepared for people to try to disrupt things. We're not in the middle of a pandemic, so I think things will move smoothly. But the perception is, at least among some people, that there are problems with our elections. And I'm worried about the spread of disinformation that makes people think that our elections are not secure when they actually are.
So how do you get out ahead of that?
Well, I mean, one thing will be if the media is clear that it's going to take a while until we get results, especially if it's a close race. It takes a while for ballots to be counted. The candidates' leads will shift back and forth over the night and in the next day. And it's important for election officials to be.
Okay. That's good enough. Let's go here. CNN, quote unquote, January 6th is going to be pretty fun. MAGA activists are planning for a possible Harris win.
Vice President Harris is speaking right now in Reno, Nevada. These are live pictures. She's got another event in a few hours with Jennifer Lopez in North Las Vegas. We are still obviously days away from ballots being counted, but supporters of the former president already pushing false claims of voter fraud and promoting lies about a rigged election. Of course, they did this 4 years ago, and they made a lot of money off it. None of it was true, and now it seems they are gearing up doing it again. CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan has more now on the multi-front plan some Trump supporters have to contest the election.
It's like, how much theft can they get away with in order to prevent Trump from winning?
Do you think he's going to win?
If we have a fair election, yes.
This is
There's
way
no
down.
way he
Why is
can
this
lose
down here so far?
fairly.
Fairly, there's no way he can lose.
Fairly, there's no way he could lose.
Stolen election.
We're just gonna.
What's wild to me is that the people who are saying stuff like that don't hear the irony or the obvious, flaw in logic of the statements, like of these sorts of statements, like if it's fair, he can't lose, because if it is a fair election, of course, anyone can win, right? That's how fair works. But no, these people think the definition of fair is only if their candidate wins. Oh boy.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed! There's no way he can lose fairly.
Fairly, there's no way he can lose.
MAGA world is preparing its followers for a stolen election.
We're just gonna announce Harris is the winner. We're gonna go, we win again.
Illegal.
And now try to stop us again. And what's different this time is we're going to be able to stop them.
Is there anybody here in North Carolina ready to take this nation back by any means necessary? Say yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're laying out step-by-step plans to overturn a potential Harris victory. These are not random Trump supporters. These are influential figures in the MAGA movement.
I mean, not just influential figures.
What they end up doing.
Some incredibly problematic individuals. I mean, you got Steve Bannon going by there, 2 days after getting out of jail. 3, however many days it's been. Hard to keep track sometimes. All the Trump orbiters. Kamala did make a Boss SNL appearance. I wish we could watch it without getting copyright struck, but SNL is the most consistent. Oh my God, are they consistent with their goddamn copyright claims? They are the worst, I swear to God. The more I do this, the more I get familiar with who is going to come after me for having used their content in any form or fashion. SNL will get us for a 3-second clip.
It's all going to depend on what they end up doing. I have a plan and strategy for every single component of it. And then January 6th is going to be pretty fun.
Many of them, like Ivan Rachel and Michael
6th is
Flynn, have huge
fun.
audiences online and are involved in election-denying groups that have spent millions of dollars furthering election conspiracy theories.
And we should know by Tuesday night, by about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, that one party won.
Election officials across the country have
Wrong.
explained that we likely
Incorrect.
won't know the full
Of course,
results
Michael
on
Flynn,
election night.
fan of Malaysian coups, like dictator, basically, military dictator, hopeful. Michael Flynn is saying that we should know by Tuesday, which is the opposite of what literally everybody with any sort of election knowledge is telling us. So don't listen to Michael Flynn. He's not your election guru for the night. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Conspiracy
Or
theories,
ever,
however, that
actually.
is a sign of fraud.
In this case, I strongly believe that Donald Trump, if this thing is a fair election, he'll win all 50 states.
Jesus Christ.
To worry, right?
Yes, Steve Bannon's been out of jail. You didn't hear? You didn't hear that we talked about this, I thought. Well, it was God, it might have been I think it was Thursday. It was last week. It was sometime last week.
We don't have to worry, right? But who thinks it's going to be legit? You think they're just going to give it to you?
Yeah,
No,
but
this is gonna be a fight.
the problem with Steve Bannon, right, is that the only thing that they actually had Steve Bannon on, technically, if I recall correctly, was his refusal to testify when he was compelled by subpoena, which is, of course, you can't do that, right? And there is a moderate sort of like number of sort of sentences that go along with it, but it's not like I don't even think it. You know, it's not like a big, like the like it's not like murder or something. You know, you don't get like years of jail for it. You get like you don't get like a super long time for it, if I recall correctly. It's like maybe 6 months to a year.
People to pressure their state representatives not to certify election results if they suspect fraud.
We try to play it fair. They steal it. Our state legislatures are our final stop to guarantee a checkmate.
Be prepared on January 1st to apply the maximum motivation to your state reps, state senators.
In North Carolina, he and another right-wing activist are going as far to say there should be no election because of the destruction after Hurricane.
Wow.
They say the Republican-controlled state legislature should decide which presidential candidates gets their electoral college.
That is insane. So because of the hurricane now, they just want their like senator to decide. Wait, in North Carolina, who's the senator in North Carolina right now? I know the lieutenant governor is what, Mark Robinson. Wait, is it Mike Johnson? Wait, is it Mike Johnson? Oh my God, I think it's Mike Johnson. Senator, North Carolina. That's not how you spell Carolina. No. Tom Tillis and Ted Budd, both Republicans. Wow. Sounds
illegal.
Illegal.
You don't have to do this popular vote in the state stuff for this federal election. We don't have to do it.
You got 120 House reps. How many of those are Republican? The majority. How about?
Oh my God, this guy does kind of look like Voldemort. I can't unsee it.
So then how is the House body going to likely vote with your motivation for the Republican nominee? What about the Senate?
Oh my God.
Majority.
He's like a slightly less sickly looking Voldemort. He's like if Voldemort worked out a little bit, basically. And instead of wearing robes like a very just a shitty button down.
Fringe and it is extreme, but a Republican congressman endorsed the idea at an event with
Although
Rachel.
next to other people, he take it all back. When he gets next to someone else, he immediately looks even more like Voldemort. Oh my God. You can't unsee it. You just can't unsee it now. That's it.
Congressman endorsed the idea at an event with Rachel.
To say, hey, look, you got disenfranchised in 25 counties. You know what that vote probably would have been, which would be, if I were in the legislature, enough to go, yeah, we got to convene the legislature.
Before eventually walking it back. The idea that the only way Harris can win is if the election is stolen is being pushed across hundreds of MAGA media outlets, and
that's not how democracy works. And I think these people should, in fact, know that full well, as they all seem to be adults, people older than I. And it's strange that they seem to have forgotten what the whole process even means, or how it's supposed to go. It's not preordained just because you really like somebody. And some of your friends claim that they also really like somebody. That's not how you make reality.
I don't want reality.
Okay, that's fair, Mark Wayne Mullins.
Former president himself.
Because they cheat. That's the only way we're going to lose, because they cheat.
And it's convincing his base.
What if the results show that Harris won? Do you think Trump will accept that?
I don't think anybody will accept that because we know it's going to be a lie. But if that's what it is, it's what it is. We'll go from there. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah. So I just...
You know, people who claim that Trump supporters are like these like really shy people, unwilling to voice their opinions. Like, I think that that's a little disingenuous, right? Like, have you ever met these people? They cannot wait to come on camera and tell us all how great Trump is. Come on. All right. Well, let's hope that a lot of those things don't come to pass and that, well, that people don't get out of hand due to this kind of rhetoric that's being spewed by people on the right now. Lies and election conspiracies are not what this current climate needs, you know? But, you know, you got people like Steve Bannon back out of jail, you know, sort of head conspiracist of the administration. I know he's not officially there because it would look bad, but let's be really real. You don't think he's at the meetings? Come on. You don't think he's on conference call, Skyping in? Bullshit. Bullshit. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't know if you've seen any of the recent videos of Tulsi Gabbard, who is now a conservative now, quote unquote. Even though she's always basically just been, you know, just a terrifying person in a lot of ways. But, you know, let's go here to this. Just to remind us of Tulsi and what she used to think about Donald Trump.
What is your view of this president? What do you see as his worst wrongdoing since he's been in office?
Look, there is no question in my mind that Donald Trump is unfit to serve as president and commander-in-chief. I've said this over and over again. I am running for president to defeat him for that reason. He has made many decisions that are counter to the best interests of the American people, our country.
Our country and the people? Counterintuitive? Many decisions? What? What?
What you drum up?
I'm very confused, Tulsi. Haven't you been out there telling us all how great Donald is lately? So weird. It's very confusing. Is everybody as confused as I am? Alright, let's go here. Quickly, if you haven't seen this clip, here's J.D. Vance responding to questions about Israel's decision to ban UNRWA from the country, which they did earlier this week. You may have missed as well, I suppose.
My name is AJ Jones, WCMU local public radio station. I have a question about foreign policy.
Sure.
This week, the Israeli parliament passed a law that would ban UNRWA, the United Nations Refugee Agency for the Palestinians. The Biden administration opposed that decision. Now, I want to give you the floor here. Would a Trump-Vance administration support Israel banning UNRWA? And as a follow-up, would you earmark any federal aid for humanitarian causes in Gaza as the current administration has?
So, couple of things. First of all, of course, we want to save as many civilians, both Israeli and Palestinian, as possible. The most important way to do that is to end the war. And this is why I think that Donald J. Trump, I've never seen anything like it in American politics, where you've got the people in the United States who are a little bit more pro-Palestinian and the people in the United States who are a little bit more pro-Israel. I think they recognize, both of them, that Donald J. Trump is the best candidate because he's the candidate of peace and prosperity. And that's a big difference. When you've got a chaotic leader like Kamala Harris, when you've got a person where fires just spring up all over the world, everybody knows that it's the innocent people who get caught up in the conflict.
Everybody knows it's the vice president who's in charge of foreign policy.
We cannot have an incompetent leader in the Oval Office. We can't have Kamala Harris. So To your specific question, look, my understanding about UNRWA is that you actually have explicit connections to terrorists for some of the employees on the ground there.
So there's a pretty clear distinction. At no point, I don't think I've heard Kamala claim that UNRWA is a terrorist organization, but here's J.D. Vance saying it explicitly, that he believes that he has seen evidence that it supports that claim, that Israeli propaganda claim that a UN aid agency is a terrorist organization. So yeah, if you think that Donald Trump and JD are going to be better than the current administration, I point you to this video right here.
That's disgraceful.
Oh yeah, it's disgraceful for you to even suggest it, okay, JD? That's what's disgraceful.
Connections to terrorists for some of the employees on the ground there, right? That's disgraceful. And that means that whether it's the entire organization or certainly some of the people on the ground, they have to do better at vetting their people so that you don't actually have explicit terrorist connections. Again,
explicit terrorist connections. This is a sitting senator, a vice presidential candidate, saying explicit connections, which is essentially him claiming that he has evidence that no one has seen. I don't think anybody here has seen any evidence to support this claim yet. And Israel made it 6-8 months ago? How long ago did they make that claim? Has anybody seen any evidence to support it yet? I personally have not, and I am pretty, you know, on the pulse most days. But yeah, that's our potential next vice president. So you don't think that's a problem? Let's not forget that this guy's back out of jail. Although we were already talking about it, weren't we?
After 4 months behind bars, Steve Bannon walks free. Speaking in New York, Donald Trump's former advisor is picking up from where he left off, wasting no time ahead of the presidential election to come.
I'm far from broken. I've been empowered by my 4 months at Danbury Federal Prison. Why was I empowered? Because I was able to listen, to observe, and to learn from working.
Okay, we don't need to hear all of this. This guy is talking about his learning experience in jail. That doesn't seem good. Okay. But yeah, let's not forget that. And so yeah, he did get out of his it looks like it was on Thursday evening, I think, that's when he was actually released from prison. All right, let's go on to this. This was AOC responding to that disgusting speech at Madison Square Garden. This was actually, I think this was like last Tuesday. We're just going through a bunch of different things here till we get to the more current shit.
Kamala
We do have a
Harris
bunch
will be
of
the
stuff to look
next
at.
president
It's
of the
current.
United States. Now, we know, of course, many of us have heard some of what had happened at the Madison Square Garden rally. And that was right in my hometown of New York. We just came from there this morning and flew in today. And I want us to really talk about what happened there and what that experience is. Because the logic of someone like the Trump campaign and someone like Donald Trump is to try to isolate that incident, when, first of all, they knew exactly what they were doing. Let's dispense with this idea of it's just a joke, or this was someone else, or this was just a comedian. We all saw there were 2 teleprompters right there on both sides of that screen. They were loaded with words. And it wasn't just about the fact that Donald Trump rallied tens of thousands of people, of Americans, to rally and froth behind words like calling Puerto Rico a floating pile of garbage, saying absolutely horrific things about Latino Americans, saying horrific things about women that he has said, about how he moves on them and how he touches them and how what he's been convicted, or rather what he's been found liable for in a court of law.
Right and they indicted
But
me.
the reason they do this is because they are preying on us not seeing ourselves in each other. They want us to think that he's not talking about me. He's talking about some other. It's the same kind of logic that says a Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx has no business connecting with a community in Madison, Wisconsin. But I have a message for individuals that operate on that logic, that the identity of our country is so much deeper than the division they seek to stoke between us.
And
every day.
I didn't want to let her go too far. I feel like I have almost. But, she was talking about those teleprompters and how they were loaded with words. I think that's one thing nobody should forget, is that all those jokes that Tony Hinchcliffe said at that rally were cleared by the Trump administration. They had their hands on those jokes. He had to give them a list of jokes to approve to even be allowed on that stage. Okay, so it wasn't an accident that he said the things that he said. It wasn't some fringe belief of one rogue comedian. It was vetted and supported by the administration itself and put out there in Madison Square Garden for the entire world to see. All right, now let's talk. Let's go to this, actually, first. To get us back to more current shit, let's go to the Majority Report with Sam Cedar from 2 hours ago. They've got a clip of a thing, and it's maybe a good way for us to avoid getting copyright struck. I don't know. I really don't.
Come up with a good final appeal for people who are voting. I think, largely we've been making the case about voting against Trump, preventing Republicans, preventing Trump from ascending to power. And, Harris hasn't always made the case easy for us, particularly in light of what's happening in Gaza. So I'm going to outsource that, and then, Emma will take over in the fun half. I will say that, we're going to wait until probably end of week, if not next week, to go over the Tim Pool debate. I was there for 3 hours. I've got some pretty funny stories, and, Tim and I hit a bunch of topics that I think are going to still be relevant.
And by the way, if you haven't checked them out yet, I've been clipping that interview, debate, whatever you want to call it, and have been trying to clip more of it, but, there's only so much time in the day, even in space, and so I'll try to get to more of it, but do check those out. And what was I going to say? Because there was one thing I was going to say, I totally forgot now, because he brought that up. Oh, son of a bitch. Hold on, I have to go back, just because my brain just broke.
Probably end of week, if not next week, to go over the Tim Pool debate. I was there for 3 hours. I've got some pretty funny stories, and, Tim and I hit a bunch of topics that I think are going to still be relevant after the fact of this election. It wasn't, we weren't doing a lot of why you should vote for Trump or Harris per se. But John Oliver had a great closing monologue. I guess it was last night. And we'll put a link to it, the full 14 minutes, but I want to play the last 3 minutes. he addressed and used both clips of people who, couldn't bring themselves to vote for Harris because of what's happening with Gaza.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
And those...
That's what I was going to say, because I don't think he brings it up, or at least I don't think he brought it up during this clip, or they clipped it out. But Sam's mom died, so R.I.P. Sam's mom. I'm sure she was a great lady, considering the awesomeness of her son. It's unfortunate. 30 minutes left of your birthday. Oh, wow. Would it be acceptable if we do a birthday song at the break? It's going to be in like an hour, though. So, I mean, can you accept that? It'll still be technically your birthday in place.
Palestinian Americans and Arab Americans and Muslim Americans who are going to vote for Harris. And just the way that he sums up the idea of voting, what its relevance is and is not, I think is pretty poignant. So let's play this clip here.
Yeah.
So I think that was pretty good. I mean, it's definitely worth watching the whole thing in terms of his perspective on voting and the implications of it. So check that out. Hey, Donald Trump has once.
Yeah, and I think that is often how Sam tends to come at these sorts of big general elections. I think he always has kind of been that way. I think he even did the same thing in if I recall correctly, did the same thing in the 2016 election, even though he was like vehemently critical of what had happened with Bernie Sanders leading up to it, which to me, is it's just integrity, really. At least that's the word that comes to my integrity. Integrity. All right. Let's. What are we doing? We got things. Oh, you know what? I was gonna do this. I know I said I was gonna wait until the break, but it's not the same. I know what it's like. I feel it. I feel it right now. Deep down for you. It's your birthday, and you deserve this. Of course.
It's a bold strategy, Colin. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
Well, happy birthday, Omega Star. I hope it was a good one. a birthday continues for 24 hours after the hour of birth. True. I believe that Omega Star is in the United States, and the birthday will be over in, what did you say, 30 minutes? So, you know, I felt it necessary to just do it now. I said we would do it at the break. I just figured we'd get it out of the way. We'd just get it done. Just get the vibes. Get the vibes going. I'm vibing. Are we going to cover the Trump Epstein? Oh, do I even have that on my list? This is what happens. This is what happens, Jerry. When I haven't done a stream in like multiple days, things get caught up in my list. So it starts to become unwieldy, and I stop adding things to the list to some degree. And so some things aren't in here that probably should be. I might have to try and add that in here. But for now, it's tentative. We will consider it. But let's go here. Let's see here. Is this Billie Eilish? No, that's Bambi Thug. She is an Irish, or they are an Irish like pop artist, I guess you would say. They had a position at the what's it called? Not the Eurozone contest. What's it called? The oh my god, why can't I think of the big European the song contest? Eurovision. They had a spot on the Eurovision, but also spoke out on Palestine, which I thought was nice, because there were not a lot of pro-Palestine voices at the Eurovision Song Contest. Although there were some people who criticized them for having, gone at all with the inclusion of Israel, which, that argument can be made. But I can also understand an artist wanting their, their art to be seen on essentially the biggest European stage available to them, and at least use that time to promote a positive message in a very critical moment. Because what was this? It's like the beginning of the year. It's like 8 months ago now, right? Whatever. Why are we talking about Eurovision? Alright, let's go here. Let's quickly talk about Trump's plans to empower both RFK Jr. and Elon Musk in the federal government after potentially being elected. Let's start with RFK.
I'll just read what Trump said tonight. He says, I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines. Somebody explain to me why that makes any sense.
Does it?
It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, at the end of the day, that is terrifying. That thought is terrifying. This is the guy that was banned from Meta for disinformation about medicines. This is a guy that was pulled offline because of his massive disinformation about the vaccines around COVID. This is a guy who...
And by the way, vaccines even long before.
Long
COVID.
before.
I mean, his claims are completely
As
debunked.
someone with a child in school, I'm sure a lot of Americans have children in school, the idea of having vaccine mandates for all diseases pulled from schools, we're going to have a resurgence of smallpox, of measles, of polio. Why would we do that to ourselves? Who asked
Is it
for
so
that?
cynical? I mean, is this just a cynical play for votes? I mean, he's on the ballot in some places. He wants those people to come to his side. He's promising the nation's health and science to somebody who is a conspiracy theorist on those very issues?
I mean, one of the sub-agencies that he did not mention in that list is CMS, which administers all of Medicare and Medicaid. So do you want RFK Jr. responsible for your parents' health care?
I mean,
I don't think parents will have health care under this administration.
Well, I think that's the point.
That's the point.
What we're talking about is the health care of arguably 100 million Americans being overseen by
the guy who cut a whale's face off with a chainsaw.
I want to hear from Mark and Scott because I'm curious if y'all are
The guy who staged bear killings in the middle of Central Park. I mean, it would be literally the most blunderous decision to put that man in charge of the things just listed. Health and Human Services. Not the NHS, the NIH, right? Like all of these other sorts of, I can't even remember each one, but it's just too many. It should be 0. All right, let's talk about Elon Musk real quick. Actually, I think we already know what he wants to get. Well, this is going to be a lead into something else, so fuck it. Whoopsies, what just happened? Please hold. You know what? That's what I was going to add into my goddamn list. Where is it? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, God. Chris Hayes. Prepare yourself.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. There are 5 days until the election.
So yeah, this was 5 days ago. Or 4 days ago. Oh, God damn it. Play. Go, Hayes.
Trump's campaign in the less than closing week is something that's been key all along. The key is to make sure people aren't actually paying that much attention, too much attention, to what Trump and his cronies will actually do with power. Polling shows that voters aren't crazy about a whole bunch of Trump's policy ideas, huge tax cut for billionaires, for example, especially compared with policy proposals coming out of the Harris campaign. And one of the biggest liabilities the Trump campaign has had all year long, was when its policy agenda was explicitly just written down and spelled out in black and white for voters. That, of course, was Project 2025, a 900-page detailed document written by top conservatives who actually kind of know what they're talking about, dozens of Trump loyalists and former aides, and it's a blueprint for Republican White House.
Okay, hold on. We're going to skip the 2025. We've talked about Project 2025 so much. Ooh, the Mike Johnson stuff, though. Let's hit this real quick. Oh, wait, no, a little further.
To replace Obamacare.
Oh, here we go.
Those concepts got a bit of a boost this week on the campaign trail from the House Speaker, Mike Johnson.
We want to take a blowtorch to the regulatory state, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, these agencies have been weaponized against the people, and it's crushing the free market. It's like a boot on the neck of job creators and entrepreneurs and risk takers. And so healthcare is one of the sectors, but we need this across the board, and Trump's going to go big. I mean, he's only going to have one more term, right? Can't run for re-election. And so he's going to be thinking about legacy, and we're going to fix all these things. And,
That is scary. Because they've already gotten done with abortions. What are they going to do? Like he's saying, he's going to get rid of health care. He's going to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, make your health care less affordable. Oh, great. Thanks, Mike. They're going to try and get rid of all regulations, like making sure that somebody's making sure that they're not putting literal poison in your food and water. Like, nope, those sorts of regulations going to be gone. They were already working on it in the Supreme Court. And if anything, that sort of talk makes me think that they've already planned out the the resignations of at least one or two judges so that they can solidify a right-wing majority for decades and decades and decades to come. It would be disastrous for anybody who didn't want these things to be, in our government. Is it lagging? I'm seeing lag. Why are you lagging? All right, but he also wants to give Elon Musk some some big powers, and I'm sure Elon Musk would have plans on that.
Nearly every reputable economist says it would cost average Americans thousands of dollars more a year than they already pay in taxes, like a net increase in the amount of money out of your pocket. It would definitely accelerate inflation because it makes things more expensive and likely cause a global trade war, possibly a global recession. Trump also has a plan to slash the federal budget across the board. The plan is to hire the world's richest man, Elon Musk, as some sort of spending czar to cut $2 trillion out of the budget. An austerity budget totally unheard of in modern history, something that virtually every economist says would be absolutely catastrophic to markets, to workers, to consumers, to everyone who actually relies on a functional government. And again, even Elon Musk.
So he's gonna give an agency that's going to cut down on the things that you get as an American, the richest, a Dutch South African billionaire, a American government job that's going to cut down on your food stamps, cut down on your child tax credit, and whatever other sorts of nice things you like gone. Sorry.
Follow the rich white man.
Seems to acknowledge that. In a town hall last week, the billionaire let slip that the Trump economic plan amounts to shock therapy to the
Yeah,
U.S.
I mean, Omega Star makes a great
Mass
point. SCOTUS has
deportations,
already
right? They wanna
fucked
do
us
that
on the
day
Chevron
one.
doctrine.
An enormous national
right?
sales tax.
Like I didn't mention that, but that's a great point. They already got rid of that. They also got rid of Roe v. Wade. Like, I mean, it is. And there's a third one that I'm not thinking of. Well, the presidential immunity. But there's a fourth one. I mean, so far, Donald Trump's Supreme Court has done an incredible amount of damage.
Early, because he can, because they're terrorists, and brutal cuts engineered by Musk that would, in his own words, cause hardship.
We have to reduce spending to live within our means.
Help! I'm being repressed!
And that necessarily involves some temporary hardship, but it will ensure long-term prosperity.
Oh, never says the billionaire. Says the world's richest man.
Interesting.
It's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody remember what the other one was right now? Why can't I think of it? They have done so much horrible shit in the last, just this year. It is wild. I cannot remember. Do you remember what the fourth one is? I know there was a fourth. I mean, the Roe v. Wade overturn. There was the presidential immunity. There was the Chevron deference, and then there was something else that I can't remember what it was. And it wasn't the ruling on well, I mean, there was the ruling on homelessness, the Grants Pass ruling, but God, I cannot think. I guess, God damn it, whatever. Now let's quickly talk about Elon Musk's potentially very illegal $1 million a day giveaway.
Make your argument. This morning, DA Krasner was here to testify. Elon Musk didn't show.
What?
We are going to handle this case and continue to handle
I'm sorry.
this case.
I didn't handle that.
On mischief night.
That's my fault. That's my fault. I didn't handle that properly. Because really what it deserved was this. Hold on. Where is this one? I think it's, yeah. Right? Is it this? No? No. Not that one. Where is it? Why can't I find this? Yes. You know, I need to label my soundboard. I just try to remember it by memory. Sometimes it doesn't go as well as it should.
Make your argument. This morning, DA Krasner was here to testify. Elon Musk didn't show. We are going to handle this case and continue to handle this case on mischief night. Elon Musk and...
You know, I find very interesting. Does anybody here know, like, how you would be able to do something like this? Like, just completely... Do you know what would happen to you personally if you decided, you know, I'm just not going to show up for my election, potential election fraud case that I'm supposed to be at? What do you think would happen? Any guesses in chat?
PAC, Ameripac, filed legal papers to have the case removed from this court to federal court, and we will proceed to federal court, and we will address the issues there and seek to have the matter remanded back to the state court.
Okay, so, I mean, Elon Musk is just trying to push this around until the election is over so that he hopefully won't have to face any sort of repercussions for what he's done here. But it's pretty clear that what he's done is potentially illegal. And the, you know, the brazenness of him to skip a hearing that he's supposed to be at legally. I mean, the guy should be, there should be a bench warrant out for him. Fuck it, I don't care that he's a billionaire. Dude, should someone go pick this asshole up? All right, let's go here to this. This was actually, you know, we're going to skip this one because we're going to watch, I forgot, we have the most recent one, don't we? Yes. All right, we're going to skip this Reno, Nevada rally from 4 days ago. We'll quickly look at a quick clip here. I think this might have also been in Nevada. You don't own X? Wow. Good point.
On the other hand, Donald Trump's answer to the financial pressures you face, well, it's the same as it was last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. Right. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% national sales tax on everything you buy that is imported. Clothes, food, toys, cell phones. A Trump sales tax would cost the average American family nearly $4,000 more a year. Illegal. And on top of that, you would pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and gets rid of the Affordable Care Act. Remember how many times he's tried to do that? And you're booing because if he were successful, it would throw millions of Americans off of their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? Well, we are not going back.
She's right. We're not going back. No. That's a bad plan. Going back. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Why would we want to do that with pretty much anything? Elon was frolicking in a leafy glade. Nothing wrong with that. He's allowed to frolic. In fact, I encourage him to frolic. And then get arrested for election fraud. You know? In that same leafy glade. Let's quickly go here to a girl you might know from the block.
Las Vegas! Now you guys know I'm no stranger to this town. No, I've been on stage here many, many times. Too many times to count. but this is the most important stage I've ever been on. And let me tell you, it has never felt the way it does tonight. It has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you. The energy in here is just electric. Can you guys feel it? Can you feel it? It's amazing. The election is just 5 days away, and there's so much at stake. The choices facing America now are monumental. And you guys have made this place a city where dreams come true, where people from all walks of life have planted a flag in hopes of creating a better future for themselves and their families. And you are the ones who are going to send the message that Nevada is Harris country. Kamala Harris is running for the people who dream, for the parents working overtime, the kids studying by streetlight, the teenagers practicing in the basement. She's the only candidate that wants to raise the minimum wage and make college more affordable, keep the Department of Education, and even put a teacher in the vice president's job. That's right. On the other hand, her opponent wants to kill the Affordable Care Act and eliminate the Department of Education.
Illegal.
Right now, we are on the brink of an election that demands a choice. A choice between backwards and forwards, a choice between the past and the future, a choice between divided and united. And if you are anything like me and you value the idea that in this country, any child from any background can not only work their ass off to bring their dreams to life and be able to do so with dignity and respect for their neighbors, then it isn't much of a choice at all.
Make some good points here. And I mean, she gets into the disgusting comments made at the MSG rally here as well. I think AOC kind of drove those points home quite well. So we're gonna move on to more stuff because this is still a few days old. I'm trying to get us caught up to current, although we did start off with more current stuff and I've peppered in a couple of current things, but we're still kind of going through some of my backlist, if you will, of stuff. Let's go here. This was CNN from 3 days ago. They got the scoop. Apparently another star has endorsed Kamala Harris. This one's an NBA champ.
Well, Donald Trump can hang himself with his own words, number one. Number two, let's recall it wasn't that long ago when somebody told LeBron to shut up and dribble. I'm glad he rejected that advice then. I'm glad he's rejected that advice now. These personalities, these celebrities, these stars have their own agency. They are indeed fellow citizens, and I celebrate them speaking out. I'm not so sure what it actually does. I'm not sure people vote a particular way because LeBron.
Oh my God! I saw that Omega Star. I saw the ICP endorsement. I don't even know if that's on my list either. You know, I'm just trying. You know, I'm one galactic being. I do my best. It should be on the list.
Said do this or do that. And I'm also concerned, Abby, about whether or not this string of celebrity endorsements plays into that narrative that Kamala is an elitist candidate. That does concern me. But at the end of the day, every one of us ought to be engaged in this process, and that includes celebrities like LeBron James.
Yeah, it is a fair concern because, I mean, nobody is surprised when a celebrity comes out for a Democrat. But I don't know that that's what she needs right now.
Look, I thought that this wasn't very effective because it was such an exercise in hyperbole and selective edits and putting it together with videos from the civil rights movement.
Hold on. Let's where's the LeBron? There it is. I think it gets into more. Yeah.
Popular in the early 90s.
Okay.
Most of the Congressional Black Caucus voted for the crime bill. It was a different time.
He was investigated for not renting to black people.
The sound that you hear of Trump at the end of the video, we have that full video, the context, right? He was on Larry King. This was in 1989, talking about the Central Park Five.
A reporter asked me whether or not I had any compassion or feeling for the people that did it. Do I have hatred for them? And I said, look, this woman was raped, mugged, and thrown off a building. Thrown off a building, on top of everything else. She's virtually, I mean, she's got some major problems, to put it mildly. I said, of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done.
Jesus, I say that. Maybe hate is what we need is the part that was used in the video, but it was used to make the point that Trump, at that time, took out a full-page ad in the New York Times proclaiming the guilt of these 5 black and brown men, largely because they were black and brown.
Sure, I don't want to debate what happened with the Central Park Five. I think we all know the story there. The question for me as a strategist is whether or not this is going to be effective. Most celebrities...
Yeah. We don't need we don't need this part of it. Like, I honestly don't appreciate CNN's commentators usually, and it's because I don't need them to come to all these conclusions for me. All right, it's very annoying. Very annoying. I think you all agree. I could be wrong. We can come to our own conclusions, I think. And you know, the fact is that the endorsements are to some degree going to make a difference. How big of a difference? It's really hard to quantify right before an election. It's not like people are like, there's no system to like verify and like keep track of you know, how much this is actually changing things. The people can make guesses on things. Like after the Swift endorsement, we saw a massive uptick in young voter registrations for like 2 weeks or something like that. It's hard to say for sure if that's you know, correlation is not causation, right? Blah blah blah. So yeah, we can go on and on about it for forever. We're not going to do that though. So let's go on here to this ridiculous display from 2 days ago. Donald Trump had some weird mic problems.
No, we're doing great. We're leading just about, I think, all 7 swing states we're leading, but don't listen to me now. Don't listen just
to me
pretend
now.
We're 1 down, right? We're 1 point
I don't
down,
know.
please. We don't want to say, oh, we don't have to vote today, Alice, because he's leading. No, don't do that. We've seen that stuff happen. We don't want to do that. Oh, the mic. Yeah, I think the mic stinks. I think it stinks.
Wow.
Crazy. Crazy. Oh, that's what I was wondering what the hell they were shouting. I think this mic stinks, by the way. And then we don't pay the contractor. I say, don't pay the contractor. Then they write a story. Trump doesn't pay his bills. He's a bad guy. No, the mic is terrible. I had another one. You know what? I've done 3 of these today. Somebody said maybe what we could do is maybe we could just skip the last one. I said, there's no way I'm skipping. There's no way. And this is the best one of all. Look at this place. Thank you. The ladies from North Carolina, 259 of these they've come to. Look at them. They're beautiful. I don't know where the hell their husbands are. They're married. All of them are married. But they're great, and thank you very much. We're rounding the turn, aren't we, huh? We're rounding the turn. And we have Front Row Joe's over here. Look at him. And we have Mr. Wall over here. You know, what is sort of sad. Is that mic now better back there? Oh, that pisses me off. They don't get it.
Illegal.
Well, the mic at Madison Square Garden worked very well. Was that a great event? But honestly, it was basically the same crowd as you have here, right? Same thing. Your NBA arena, your team is very good. I would say the Greek is a seriously good player. Do you agree? And tell me, who has more Greek in him, the Greek or me? I think we have about the same.
Wow, dude.
He's a great player, maybe the best player in the NBA, actually.
Wow. Wow. That was racist.
Right? He's a...
Let's try that again.
I think we have a... And tell me, who has more Greek in him, the Greek or me? I think we have about the same. Right? He's a great player, maybe the best player in the NBA, actually.
I don't know if anybody knows who he's talking about. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's from Greece, who's a NBA player, who's maybe one of the highest NBA paid NBA players in the world, in the entire league. I mean, league for highest paid basketball players in the world. Certainly one of them, and one of the best players in the world, and he's claiming he's not Greek enough because, I don't know if you know this, he's part black. I think Nigerian? I can't remember, but this is disgusting.
Who's supposed to be a very good guy, too, but with your help, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we're going to make America great again.
Wait. What? Did I add? I have a second one. What happened? Yeah, I have a second mic clip here. I think, yeah, please hold. Because, Donald Trump did some other stuff with the mic. Let me get the right clip here. I mean, I'm kind of glad we saw that. I mean, he just, wow. Okay.
Kamala makes her final arguments. Trump gives a final BJ. And if you're nervous about who's going to win the election, don't worry. We're just going to tell you. So let's get into it. Indecision 2024. Guys, tomorrow is the big day. At long last, Tilda Swinton's birthday. Oh, she's turning ageless, so congrats to her. Tomorrow is also Election Day. And look, I'm not in the prediction business, but I still think Joe Biden can pull this off. But meanwhile, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have both been making their closing arguments. For Kamala, it's a message of unity, hope, and check out who my friends are.
A megawatt all-star lineup on the trail. You can see some of the scenes right there on your screen.
Performances from musicians like Mumford & Sons and Gracie Abrams.
She has Glorilla out here. She has Cardi B, who wasn't even going to vote.
Wait, hold on. We gotta go to this mic thing, because this shit is ridiculous. And I didn't see it in that last one we watched. Where is it? I think it's at the end? Where is it? God damn it. Why do I have to... Ah.
A weird sexual energy.
I came in today, I said, And you know, this is after 4 of these things. I mean, in all fairness, I mean, I'm a human being, right?
You know, I'm a basketball fan. I'm not shocked to hear I was right about the guess on Giannis. I mean, the fact is I've definitely Googled and Wikipedia'd Giannis in the past, so clearly some of that information stuck in my head.
I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said, it's too low. So, I had to go.
Yeah, Donald Trump grossly making fellatio sort of innuendos here. Sort of displays, you might say, for the entire country. I thought that was bad for kids to see. You remember? Anybody remember that? It's weird because I could have sworn that most of Donald Trump's supporters were in favor of certain books being taken out of school for having, you know, potentially pornographic material in it. But then he's literally acting out a sex act on stage in front of an entire crowd of people on national television. I assume there's some children at this rally right now. It's very weird. Now, let's go here. I found this to be hilarious because the thing I think everybody should pay attention during this is the faces of his rally goers behind him as he talks about the bulletproof glass and how ready it is to protect him in particular. This was yesterday, I think, where was this?
And I'm just looking here.
Might be Ohio.
And I'm watching, and this has nothing to do with corruption, but it has to do with a little bit of intelligence. And I have a piece of glass over here, and I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here. But all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind that. So I have a piece of glass here. And the problem with that glass is I don't look great on television when you have a 4-inch piece of glass that a howitzer can't go through. No, when you see yourself in...
Now, like, maybe you don't see what I'm seeing here, but, like, during this, you see smiles, but a lot of them seem forced, a little awkward, and there's, like, a lot of shifting going on the back, like, on the stage behind him as he talks about it. And I think it's because they're imagining what has happened at a recent Trump rally where supporters died were directly behind Donald Trump, and he's here talking about the glass. Like, it is just, it's off-putting. If I were standing there, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, is this my last moment?
You say, boy, you're really not very recognizable, to be honest with you, which is good. But here's the problem. So I have glass here, I have glass here. Now, I'm not worried about this. Look, what do I have? A couple of people. And they're friends, generally. There are a couple of people.
These three, they got me covered.
Group, but that's like, no, but look at it. Look at it. I have nobody here. What do I need this piece?
I don't need this.
I think I do need a piece of
you know, right here. Like, look at this guy right here. Look at this guy right here. Look at him. Look at him. He's like, that's kind of where it would be aimed at me, isn't it? Like, ugh. All right, this is a Kamala rally in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, an important swing district in a swing state.
Are we ready to win? Oh, it is good to be here tonight with all these leaders. I thank you all so very much. I want to thank Representatives Lee, DeLuzio. Let's send them back to the U.S. House of Representatives. Please send Bob Casey back to the United States Senate. And I thank everyone for being here and taking the time out of your busy lives to be here this evening. I love you back. I love you back. I love you back. All right, so Pittsburgh, this is it. Tomorrow is Election Day. Tomorrow is Election Day. And the momentum is on our side.
It actually does seem to be the case. Now let's move it just a little bit ahead here. Listen to her closing remarks. Can't watch the whole speech. Don't have time for that.
24 hours to family and friends and classmates and neighbors and co-workers. And as we do that, let us really be true to what our campaign has been about from the very start. And on that, I say, please let us be intentional about building community. Let us be intentional about building coalitions. Because here's the thing. So much about these last several years has been about trying to make people point their fingers at each other, to have Americans point their fingers at each other, to try and make people feel alone or feel small. But let us do the work as we work toward this win of building up community and coalition and reminding everyone that we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let that be our goal. And let us remind everyone, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power.
And I would point one thing out, though, in terms of the momentum, because there is one thing. We do have short-term momentum. It is only short-term, so you can't just say, okay, we got it in the bag. All right, you know, if you're in a swing state, definitely you got to get out there. I think we know what the swing states are around here. Pennsylvania, Arizona, New Mexico. Well, not New Mexico. Sorry, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan. You know, these are the swing states. Although there's places right now that have become swing states, like Iowa, potentially, which we will be talking about later. So really, I mean, just get out there and vote. I mean, if you haven't already, and if you aren't doing things tomorrow when the polls are open, what better than to exercise your democracy in the direction that you would like to see that democracy go in. Now let's quickly look at a clip here, which Brian Tyler Cohen did for us. This is from a day ago. We don't really use his channel a lot. Honestly, for whatever reason, me personally, ever since he switched to MSNBC, I've kind of struggled with watching his show. I don't know why. But let's look at this here. This was well, you could call him a rogue camera person, perhaps a hero, even. Certainly somewhere between those two things, at least. Maybe like a vigilante cameraman. So yeah, there we go. So Trump rally a couple days ago.
Rallies in history of any country.
Biggest rallies ever.
And,
no one has ever seen.
You don't have any seats that are empty. You don't
rallies
have
as good as these.
I mean, the one we had today, you missed a beauty. We could have filled that place up 20 times. I mean, that was beautiful. And the Virginia rally, did you hear about the Virginia rally?
That was, Glenn Youngkin did a great job, the governor of Virginia, and they had a crowd there that was incredible. And then we came here, and we don't want to be late, but it's very hard when you do these things. It's very hard, and you don't mind a little bit. We weren't very late. Just a few minutes. Just a few minutes, depending on your definition of when it's going to start. But you know, we've been doing, I was talking to some of the people, it's sort of, you know, in a way it's sad, in a way it's beautiful. I was talking to them and I said, you know, this is coming.
You could have filled it up 20 times.
And we've been doing them, think of it, for like 9 years. We started a year before, and we've had tremendous success. In 2016, we did phenomenally, right? We went in, they said, they gave us a 3% chance, and sort of like amazing, right? 3%. That means 97% for crooked Hillary and 3% for me. And I was saying, well, I went to Iowa and I had 48,000 people and she had about 300 people. And then we went to another one in another state. We had 49,000 people. She had 243 people.
It's amazing.
And I kept saying, why are we going to lose? Why are we going to lose? And we didn't lose.
The very best.
And we ended up winning the presidency, right? And that was an exciting night. Remember how it started? It started with a bunch of fake news. Look, here they are. That's a lot of fake news.
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. Trump
Okay.
literally said the words.
Okay. Wow. So it's weird because he said we could have filled this rally 20 times, but it seems to be about half empty. All right. What next? Where am I on my list? Oh, let's go here. This is AP archive from 3 hours ago. We are pretty much up to current now. This was Kamala Harris in Wisconsin.
And here is my pledge to you. As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge then to listen to experts, to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, and to people who disagree with me. Because look, unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at my table.
That is a good message.
Every day I
That is a good message. The people Donald Trump disagrees with, he wants to put in jail. Kamala will give them a seat at her table and have discussions with them. I mean, that's a resonating message. I mean, it might not resonate with everybody, but it's certainly going to resonate with those people who are those like undecided, those sort of disaffected by, you know, sort of supposed divisiveness and whatnot. Like, that is exactly the kind of rhetoric.
And every day I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. This is not political for you.
Oh,
This
no,
is
it's
your
lagging.
lived experience. And I see you. And I see your power. I see
Why is it lagging? Stop that.
power. And I am so proud of you. Can we hear it for our first-time voters?
I'll give our first-time voters a little round of applause. If you're a first-time voter, great job. Don't forget to vote. If you've already voted, then definitely great job. All right. Is it also lagging for other people, or is it just me? Because it looks like it's lagging on my screen, but it also could just be because it's doing too many things, I guess. All right. All right. Let's go here. Actually, I'm going to move this one over here. I don't like the way that I've set this up. This was bad. Who was in charge of this list? Was it me? Can't we use AI people to put in those seats? That would cost too much. They're lucky to have been able to pay for the venue. I mean, come on. All right, let's go to this. This was an actual Kamala rally. This was the last of the Kamala rallies. This got done streaming just an hour ago. I'm not going to watch the whole thing.
I hope you're ready to give him a
We don't have time for that.
Michigan
Let's see.
off into tomorrow.
Hold on. I'm going to line this up. I don't know why I've just rushed head first into this rally. It is a bit laggy. See, this is what I was saying. Do we need to pause? We might need to pause. We need to pause a moment to stop the lag.
All the misinformation and all the lies.
Hey,
You're out
okay,
there
Doug.
talking about something that no one can take away from you.
I mean,
and
Gavin.
That's your lived experience. And your lived experience.
Wait, that is Doug Burgum. Wait, what? Why are we on this one? What just happened? Oh, I just realized I went past one. Sorry, this is not the Kamala rally. This was not the final. This is the final Trump rally. I am very sorry.
Immediately, if not sooner.
Very sorry. This is the last Trump rally here of the cycle. Also ended an hour ago. They both seemingly wrapped up an hour ago. Past at least Donald Trump's bedtime. I think for Kamala, it's definitely in the range. The one with Lady Gaga. Yes, that's correct. The one with Lady Gaga and Oprah. All right, let's go first, though. First, before we go to Pennsylvania, let's go to Michigan to see what happened to this shit show. Oh, God, do I have to listen to Doug Burgum? No, you know what? I don't. I'm in charge of this stream. I don't have to listen to Doug Burgum. None of us do. We really don't. And you know what? I can't remember. Is Doug on the ballot? Wait. No way. Hold on. Oh, breaking news. Is this breaking news?
Person in the room. This is the bragging about the
What is happening?
in the room about
Oh my God.
Authorize the invasion to Afghanistan.
Oh my God. Chat.
Let's pick one. Are we going to say Kamala
You will
or
not
Harris?
believe what I think I have just uncovered.
Kamala? You want to say Kamala? Who was the last one in the room?
I think Donald Trump didn't show up to this rally. Oh my God, shut up,
We're
Doug.
talking about who decided to do the horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Doug, you're done. All right. But look at this. Hold on. Doug gets done talking. Wait, hold on. Let me see what he's. Wait. How does he finish the speech? What does he say?
History. You're all part of it. Let's give him an incredible Michigan welcome when he gets here. Thank you, Michigan. Let's go. Let's get it done tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, so Doug Burgum talked, and then this other guy talked. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. And then, because it says former President Trump holds final campaign rally. Look at this. Look at this. Wait, hold on. 2x. I'm going to 2x this. We need the music back. We suddenly need the music back. Wait, what's happening? For an hour and 20 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes. These people stand here. No Donald Trump. Oh my God. This is insane. He abandoned Michigan. Breaking news, chat. Donald Trump abandons Michigan. Oh my God. Look, we're 40 minutes in. We're 20 minutes past Doug. Let's go here, 47 minutes. Still nobody on stage. People standing awkwardly. An hour in. I mean, we can make sure, we can double check. We can go back here, 56 minutes, no Trump. 53, no Trump. Back here to an hour. I mean, this is wild. Hour 26. Donald Trump has abandoned Michigan. He packed the stadium for Doug Burgum. No one can be happy about that. Not even Doug Burgum. An hour and 38 minutes. I don't think he came and spoke. I don't think he ever showed up. He's going to show up and speak at 2 in the morning? Or whatever. What time of this I mean, this live stream, this Forbes live stream ends at some point. In 5 minutes. This ends, and we're gonna watch how it happens, how it goes down at this point. I have it on 2x, so it should take us just a few minutes to get through it. But I want to know why and how this ends. Look, you got a couple of those guys appear to be Secret Service on the left side, right? You see them? These two right here, these appear to be Secret Service. That guy might be Secret Service. Hard to tell, but not that hard to tell. Actually, can't really tell. It might actually be a woman, but yeah, it is a woman, maybe, but it's a little hard to tell with the fuzziness of this live stream. Still no Donald Trump. 4 minutes to go. We don't have any music. We need music back. Remember, this is a 2x as well. But this is... I mean, this is ridiculous. I didn't even get to watch this because it was still going on. while we were while I was like getting the stream going. I was like getting it started today. He shows up apparently, eventually. Okay. Well, he doesn't show up in this video. I'll tell you that much. At least it doesn't seem like it. They probably restarted the feed when they found out Donald Trump was going. It's because they were like, geez, we just went 2 hours with no Trump. Useless footage to us. Okay, let's go here now to the final Kamala rally. Everything is lagging? Boo. Why is everything lagging? And this is very annoying to me. Please hold. I don't understand. I don't understand. What does the internet have against me exactly?
Franklin looked her in the eye and said, "A republic, if you can keep it." Those 5 words, if you can keep it, that has been our charge for centuries. And it has guided every chapter in our American story.
All right, stop trying to do your best Obama impression, Josh.
To keep it, to perfect
Stop.
our union. And throughout all...
We don't need that. We don't need that from you. Let's move along. Wait. Is that Fat Joe? Wait. All right, no Josh Shapiro. I just realized I'm on 2x. Probably just avoided a copyright strike, though.
Yo soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. Yo soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. I heard they needed a Puerto Rican in Philly, and I was so happy to come out here and represent the Puerto Ricans. Tonight I'm short and sweet. It's all about pride. A couple of years back, when I seen Donald Trump come down the escalator and call my Mexican brothers and sisters rapists and drug dealers, he obviously didn't know the contributions of Mexican Americans to this country. If you didn't believe him then we had Hurricane Maria. While people were moving in waist-high water, he went to Puerto Rico and threw towels, paper towels like they were basketballs, at the Puerto Rican people. He also blocked aid to Puerto Rico for the relief fund. Kamala Harris is for us. She's for unity. She's for all Americans. Black, white, big, small, Latino, you name it, she's for us. One thing I won't do is sell my soul for anybody. If I'm out here telling you she's the one, it's because I know she's the one. Couple of weeks ago, I'm watching these people again.
Son of a bitch, it's
they
lagging
told my
again.
Haitian brothers and sisters.
Wow. I see it happening time and time again. Was that lean back? Heck yeah, that was lean back. It's Fat Joe. He's in the mix now. They're in Pennsylvania. Like he said, they needed a Puerto Rican, and he said he was happy. I can't remember exactly what he said after that, but you know, to tell everybody to lean back and vote Kamala.
That they eat cats and dogs. Now I'm asking my Americans and my Latinos in particular, where's your pride?
Oh my God, the
When
lag is even
enough?
worse than I thought. Son of a... I have to pause it. This is insane. Why does it go back to looking fine when I go to the office, and then it fucks up again after we switch back to the videos? Oh, so annoying. Why does YouTube hate me? Sorry, please hold everyone. Actually, you know what? Maybe this will help. Let's just take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick space break. We're 2 hours in. Usually when we take a break. Yeah, let's actually, usually we listen to this, but it is election eve, so.
For the very soul of our nation, we have seen what can be unburned by what has been.
Well, I hope everybody has been enjoying the stream so far. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Truly appreciate that. And while you're doing that, do also consider contributing to the Galactic News Network, as we are completely funded by viewers such as yourself. We got all sorts of ways to donate, such as Patreon, Cash App, and PayPal, but my favorite is Patreon, because it not only helps fund the Galactic News Network, but also gets you some super, super sweet space benefits unseen by the rest of the goddamn Milky Way galaxy. So check those all out, if you are so inclined. Anyway, chat, enjoy this short space break. Grab yourselves a drink, perhaps a snack, and I will be right back.
By what has been is the ability to see what can be. Unburdened by what has been. To see what is possible and what can be. Unburdened by what has been and who has done what. Always believe in what can be. Unburdened by what has been. That is what I want for you. Is to see what can be. Unburdened by what has been. To solve what could be. Unburdened by what has been. Solve what could be. Unburdened by what has been.
I don't know what to do, because it's really bad right now. Like, I want to get back to the stream, but it is lagging just ferociously. Atrociously. And it's no good. I do not want to provide a suboptimal experience for everyone. It seems wrong. Though it is looking kind of better. Hard to tell. Get this going. Well, Space Fams, it's time for the second half of the show, so you better get yourselves back to your seats. Alright, let's try the last of Kamala Harris's rallies here. We're going to skip past the Josh Shapiro stuff and see what Fat Joe here has to say. Fingers crossed, everybody. Let's hope it all works. Pray to Gary, if you are a believer in Gary.
Put your hands together.
Whoopsies.
And Bronx native, my friend, Fat Joe!
Now, I don't want reality.
Do you know what we're here for? Equal parts. Oh my gosh.
I'm staying in the race.
Yo soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. Yo soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. I heard they needed a Puerto Rican in Philly, and I was so happy to come out here and represent the Puerto Ricans. Tonight I'm short and sweet. It's all about pride. A couple of years back, when I seen Donald Trump come down the escalator and call my Mexican brothers and sisters rapists and drug dealers, he obviously didn't know the contributions of Mexican Americans to this country. If you didn't believe him then we had Hurricane Maria. While people were moving in waist-high water, he went to Puerto Rico and threw towels, paper towels like they were basketballs, at the Puerto Rican people. He also blocked aid to Puerto Rico for the relief fund. Kamala Harris is for us. She's for unity. She's for all Americans. Black, white, big, small, Latino, you name it, she's for us. One thing I won't do is sell my soul for anybody. If I'm out here telling you she's the one, it's because I know she's the one.
Look at that. The second it starts playing, it starts lagging again. At least for me. You're right. He doesn't look like Fat Joe anymore. Just sort of Joe. Just normal-sized Joe. But that's okay. We can still call it Fat Joe. It's fine.
Couple of weeks ago, I'm watching these people again. They told my Haitian brothers and sisters that they eat cats and dogs. No,
I don't know what it is about this that is causing so much problems. But it's pissing me off. I don't know if it's bothering everybody else, but not being able to see the video fully is really bugging me right now. The fact is, everything looks fine on my end until I see it come out the other end on YouTube. And it doesn't look good. And 2 seconds ago was fine in the office, right? Am I losing my mind? Was it not perfectly fine in here? Am I going crazy?
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Oh my god. I literally have no idea why this is happening. Well, chat, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I mean, I wanted to go for the normal amount of time on this stream tonight, but it doesn't seem like the stream is really cooperating with us right now. I guess I could try again. I could try to end the stream and try to restart it again, which just seems so incredibly annoying to me. I just don't know what else to do.